Rise up, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, kings and queens, friends, frenemies, and you agents. My name is Brother Mali. This is the Senegambia One channel. I'd like to welcome you because I've got a message to pass on to you, and I'm not trying to give you any kind of new words of wisdom downloaded from above. This is something you already know. You see, all we need is love, right? We just need to love ourselves. We are now in a new phase of the American presidency, and the ripples of that American presidency is being felt across the world. Back in the 60s, black people were fighting for the right to just be seen as human. We talk about our rights, but back then, I am a man was written on those placards. It was that basic. That's how far behind the cue ball black people were over in America and across the world. So now that Trump is in office and he's taken back the civil rights way back to then, to like, okay, you're a human being. I recognize you're a human being. Now we've gone all the way back to there. The question is, on many people's lips, is like, what are we going to do about it? What's the response to it? I want to come back to that question in a second. In order to come back to that question, I'll give you a little bit of context. Now, these are some pictures that were taken over the weekend, a couple of weekends ago. There's a cafe in Gambia called Cafe Zola. It is run and owned by a couple from New York. And what they've accomplished is a spot where people from the diaspora, it doesn't matter where you're from, right? Whether you're from Jamaica, St. Lucia, America, Canada, wherever you're from. Once a week, we'll meet up and we'll talk, we'll reason, we'll network, we'll come together. And you'll notice that wherever you are right now watching this, if you think locally and you think of like a local food spot, so whether it's Ethiopian, Jamaican, Haitian, whatever, those places are patronized by people from that country. And it's not just to eat, it is to get to know one another. You know, it's to get to know one another, is to be able to like come up with, is to be able to speak about things that you find difficult as a community and come up with collective ideas of how you can fix those things. It's natural. It's a natural thing to happen. Back in Gambia, when I was a restaurant owner there, you would have one group over this table or one group over that table, and then this table will hear the accent of the people on that table and be like, yo, we're the same peoples. You're from Tennessee, I'm from Alabama, let's chat. And they'll come together and chat. On a big table, they're leaving, smiling faces, men are shaking hands, sisters are hugging. And, you know, things grow from that. So it's really heartwarming to see this continues to go on in the Gambia. And what also is heartwarming is that there's lots of other people in that picture that I recognize, people I know, who've been there from when I've been there. This couple has been there longer than I have, and so that's wonderful to have. But also there's a lot of people there that I don't recognize. This is the DJ. If the DJ looks like this, you know that things are good, things are going well. I'm being very careful about my words. I'm not going to make any jokes about people there because I know you don't get sensitive about my jokes. My jokes are funny in my head, and they're not funny when they go through this phone and come out the other side on your phone. They're not funny anymore. So I'm not making no jokes about it. I'm just saying that this is lovely. I love it, and it should continue. I wish it does. I hope it does. And this is the reason why when you're a black person in the UK, when you're a black person in the UK or a black person in some city or state in America or whatever, you'll notice that black people who are not even from the country come in, and after a short period of time, they seem to be doing better. It feels like they're doing better. It may not even be true, but it feels like, because you're seeing green shoots of progress from that community. You know, people are having businesses, people are doing big things in media or in tech or something. Reason being is that it starts from those small coffee shops or small restaurants where people can get together and converse and talk about what it is that they need and how they can help each other to fulfill what they need. And the same thing is happening over here in Africa. People here in Africa are jealous, for want of a better word, of people from the diaspora who are coming together, figuring things out and making things happen, making businesses happen. You know, you have a block building business, where people make bricks for houses by hand. People from the diaspora bring in block building machines, and you can have one man can knock out 10 blocks at the time it takes for 4 local brothers to make 7. So it becomes like as though we are doing a lot better than the local people. And that all starts from that love ourselves thing. It all starts from that. What's that got to do with our original question? You see, whereas Mr. Trump has kind of pulled things back and said, okay, like, you know, you can't, you can't as a business be sitting back and pushing these products from people from an ethnic minority. See now what Trump has done, silly bitty. He says in his manifesto beforehand, we're going to cut back on this DEI stuff, right? We're going to cut back on diversity, equity, inclusion. It's going to be all based on meritocracy. It's all going to be based on merit, nothing else. What he failed to tell you was that actually what they're going to do is anything that has a black or brown face in it, we're going to just gut that, right? We're going to just gut that and assume it's only there because of some kind of diversity quota, and not because the person's any good, not because the product is any good. No, it's only because of that one thing. So they kind of weaponize what they promise. They've weaponized the promise. And my hope is that we use that same natural inclination of love that we have among ourselves. And it is natural because I see it happening, just burgeoning out of us over here. Once you're out of that crazy system where, you know, you're forced to like chop off your left arm, sacrifice your mother, all kinds of stuff to be able to get what you need. Once you're not in that system, then the natural level of love that you have between brothers and sister, boy and girl, kings and queens, comes out. It happens. It just happens. So what I hope for those of you who are over there in the States, for example, is that while Trump feels like as though he's got an ace up his back, you know, up his sleeve, saying, yeah, anything that's has a black or brown face in it, we're gonna just gut that. We don't need it. It's not necessary. Only white is right, everything else is wrong. Because that's only there because of DEI. What my hope would be is that will be a clue that we are all we need. That we are all we need. You know, we don't need Nobody else. You may, because of this channel, because of you know, because of this channel that you're watching, you may know someone over here in Africa, somewhere in Gambia, somewhere in Senegal, somewhere in Ghana or Nigeria. And you may be looking for a product that you could sell, that you could become a king or a queen of in your town, in your city, in your state. Take some, for example, pineapples, right? You could have a contact. I'm assuming you would do because of the fact that you're listening to this. You could have a contact in one of these African nations of someone who has mangoes growing in their garden, in their neighbours' gardens, who can arrange to have mangoes or pineapples, whatever it is, to be packed and shipped over to you for you to be able to sell. And there you'd have an organic, completely natural, African sun-blessed fruit in places where they don't even think that you're worth having fresh fruit for. Somewhere where, sell it to bodybuilders, sell it for people who are health conscious, sell it to mums looking for a cheap juice to give their children, whatever. You could do that because we are all we need. We don't need to wait until we've left the West in order to start taking on these other more natural ways of thinking and doing and being. We don't, over here in Africa, need to wait to have some European interface in order for us to then sell into the West. Like, we've got everything we need. We've got everything. We've got the contacts, we've got the geographical positions in place. All we've got to do is just love each other, love ourselves. This is your brother Marley. Until next time, you take care of yourself. Peace.